Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. Back to do one of the about two or three different vinyl tags for 2025 that I plan on doing. This one is going to be the CD tag for 2025, put up by the one and only Glenn Kellaway over at From the Basement. Really kind of nice, simple 15 questions, right to the point, fun to answer. So I thought, let me kind of jump on that one first, and then we'll kind of go from there. So let's jump right into it. Question number one: when did you get your first CD player? I remember that was my senior year in college, so 1994 is when I got my first CD player. My girlfriend at the time bought it for me as a birthday gift. It's just one of the little, portable type, CD players, and I got the cool little bag to go with it. And it was awesome. Especially kind of considering 1994, CDs had been out for quite some time, and I had seen so many people all around me that had one. To finally have my own CD player was like really, really cool. Bought a little adapter so I could take it in my truck, and having it on basketball trips and everything. It was exciting. I really, really, really appreciated it. Question number two: what was the first CD you ever bought? Actually, glad you brought that question up because it made me realize something. But the first CD I ever bought was Madonna's Immaculate Collection. That was the first CD I ever had. And I went to look for it, and it reminded me. It's like, oh, I totally forgot. It's not officially a part of my collection because it's scuffed up all the heck, and the case is broken. Like literally chunks of the jewel case plastic is missing. But I never replaced it or anything because I always wanted to keep. This was the first CD ever. And I remember when I moved down here, I left it in a box because I just kind of used it as decoration, and I forgot to unpack it. So I got to go get that out and put it back up in my music room. But yeah, it was Madonna's Immaculate Collection. Second one, if you're curious, was Green Day's Dookie. But those were the first two I had in like the first week I got my CD player. Question number three: most recent CD you purchased? That would be Billy Idol's Cyberpunk. Just got that a little while ago. One of his later albums, not as well known, that type of thing, but definitely a cool album. One that I really want on vinyl. I'm definitely seeking out to get a very nice copy of that. So if anyone has one, they might want to do some trading or something like that, let me know. But, Billy's my boy, and yeah, that's the last CD I purchased. Let's see. Question number four: approximately how many CDs do you have in your collection? When I went into my Excel spreadsheet a little while ago and I did a sort, I was actually kind of surprised. 3,452 CDs. I did not realize I had that many. And keep in mind, that's also counting like the individual CDs in box sets. Like if there's 5 studio albums in a box set, that counts as 5 CDs. So, but yeah, 3,452 total. So, more than I thought. Let's see. Question number 5: jewel case or digipacks? Very good question. And my answer has well, let's put it this way. I prefer digipacks, but only if they are well made digipacks. The crappy little things that you just slide in the side, and you feel like you're scratching the CD when you put it in there, and the spines go flat, before you even buy the freaking album. They come out of the shrink all flattened. I hate those cheap things. Those are horrible. But when you have like really, really nice digipacks, kind of like these, you have a firm spine that, it stays, I should say, it just stays where it's supposed to stay. Kind of a heavyweight cardboard. This actually has like the plastic piece in there where you put in the CD, sticking it onto the plastic and not just like sliding it in the side and all of that. Like those I love when they're well made like that. Or like some of these Japanese pressings, like with some of the SA CDs and so forth. These are almost like the tangible feeling of like the physical media. These are just like handling and collecting vinyl to me. Like I get the same enjoyment that I get from having the physical media of vinyl with these well-made digipacks. But those crappy things, like I said, that go flat, and like I said, you feel like you're scratching the CD by putting it in the side. I hate those things. Despise them. I definitely want a jewel case over those. But Yeah, well made. I'll take the Digipaks all day long. I love those. Number 6, your best CD purchase of 2024. Nothing really big. A lot of the CDs I'm picking up now are still just like your dollar this or $2 this at a show and stuff like that. But I think maybe the best one I've picked up in 2024 was this, which is Tina Turner, Queen of Rock and Roll. I picked up the 5 LP box set of this, but then I saw this on Amazon for like $8 or something, so I went ahead and grabbed it. But it has 3 CDs and just kind of all of her greatest hits from her early days with Ike and Tina, all the way up through her solo career, and just a nice little 3 CD set right there. So that's probably the best CD I've purchased in 2024. Number 7, show a live album on CD. I don't do a lot of live albums. Like, I'm always very picky about those. But this is one that I absolutely love. Neil Lofgren's Acoustic Live. Great live album. Just sonically beautiful as can be. And you talk about dude just showing off his skills on a guitar. Just amazing live performance. One of my favorites. And I actually have a Analog Productions pressing of this on vinyl, which I believe was the first pressing that Analog Productions had done. And yeah, sounds fantastic. Highly recommend checking that out if you haven't heard it. And of course, my favorite song off of there is Keith Don't Go. I mean, it's just a fantastic track. All right, question number 8, the best sounding album in your CD collection. Lofgren's could easily be that, but the first one that came to mind when I was asked that question is this one right here, which is Pat Metheny. And this is his album, What's It All About? And yeah, and it's just, Pat's an amazing guitar player, kind of, I guess, sometimes jazzy, sometimes with a little bit of fusion, sometimes a little bit of rock, and kind of, like, he can kind of mix everything in there. But yeah, this is a really great one right here. And it's just one of those things that, again, sonically just makes your system float and just absolutely sounds its best. He does a really cool version of The Sound of Silence on here. And it's recorded kind of so well that not only is it so clean and bright and shimmery and sharp, but you can also you can hear his fingers kind of sliding up and down the fretboard. So it gives the impression kind of like you're like right there in the room beside him, where even that noise is not getting drowned out. So yeah, really cool album. Highly recommend that, but I think that one sounds fantastic. Question number 9, your favorite CD cover or insert. That's kind of hard, but I just went with what's the first thing that came to mind. And I remember getting this year, which is Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. This is kind of their greatest hits. And just, typical greatest hits with one of the legendary kind of R&B bands back in the time. But I remember just from the first time I grabbed that CD, that cover just always seemed so cool to me. The simplicity of it, kind of the retro nature of it, with, it's probably not coming through as clear there, but just kind of the brown hue with those colors. It's just kind of like a vintage feel to it. I just always thought that was really cool artwork. Like, I would love to have a Frankie Beverly poster that had that on there. So that was just kind of the first one that came to mind. So I went with it. Question number 10, show a CD box set. I do love my CD box sets. Have them all right back over there. And I just decided to go with this one here because it's one of my favorites. Again, talking about stuff that's well made. Placebo. This is the box set with like all the studio albums there. And it's a real simple set. I don't like the ones that load kind of from the top like that, because it's always so easy sometimes to forget which ones they are, and you pull them off the shelf holding this and they want to slide out. So I don't like that. I much prefer but anyway, so it's just kind of, your basic lid, which I always try to keep the shrink on there if I can. And it's just a basic set, like no, books and all this extra whatever, but it's just kind of very well made, great sounding Digipaks. Again, the firm spine, just really great. And even these aren't the ones that have the plastic. These load on the side, like I was talking about a minute ago. But still, at least these are made so much better. And this almost feels like that type of paper that almost has almost feels like it's dusty, but it's not. You know what I'm talking about? But Yeah, really, really beautiful, really, really well made set. All the Placebo studio albums, just one of my absolute favorite CD box sets. I love that. So that's what I'll use for sharing a box set. Number 11, show a CD from your favorite band. You guys all know what my favorite band is, which is Godsmack. So I'm going to show The Oracle. And I'm just showing this because it's probably Godsmack's least known album. And it's the only studio album they have not put out on vinyl yet. So I'm just going to kind of send this out there as a vibe to hopefully we'll get that on vinyl soon. Question number 12. What artist or band do you have the most CDs of? Pretty easy on that one. John Coltrane. I think between box sets and everything else, I have like well over 50 of his albums on CD. Coltrane's the man. I absolutely love this album too. I love his free jazz time period as well. This is Interstellar Space. But yeah, Coltrane I definitely have the most of. Second is probably Kiss. I think it's probably the second. Question number 13. Do you collect CD and vinyl? Yes, I love all formats. I collect CD, vinyl, and cassettes. I have a few reel-to-reels and stuff like that, but like actively actually getting stuff and bringing it in, CD, vinyl, and cassettes. I love collecting all three. And the thing to me is just like each one of them brings something to the table that the other one doesn't. And each one of them kind of requires a little something that the other one doesn't and gives you something that the other one doesn't. So the way I figure is as much as I love music, I want to be able to experience it in all of these different ways. And there truly is a different experience behind listening to something on vinyl and then throwing in the CD or throwing in the cassette. So I want to experience it all because I love music that much. Question number 14. Have you ever sold your vinyl collection and stuck with the CD format? Which I guess a lot of people did when CDs became big. Since vinyl was first, they sold their vinyl and got into CDs. I never did that. Matter of fact, my experience was just the opposite. I had a ton of CDs when I got into CDs after '94. When I got into vinyl, like the early 2000s, something like that, what I started doing was selling my CDs because I was getting in the vinyl. So when we all talk about going back to getting stuff, I actually spent a number of years going back to get CDs I got rid of. I never did the going back to get vinyl I got rid of. So my experience was completely different than most people. So kind of different there. Let's see. Question number 15. Is that where I'm at? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Show a CD you would like your viewers to listen to and give you feedback on. This is one that I kind of rant and raved about. I was going to say a couple years ago, but I think it was actually about maybe 4 years ago this came out, 4 or 5 years ago. But anyway, The War on Drugs, A Deeper Understanding. A band that I just kind of always blew off as like a hipster type of band or whatever else, and just one of those other, without necessarily ever hearing anything, but just kind of having that internal bias towards it. And I was in a record store one day, and they were playing this album, and I was like, "What in the world is that?" And I went up, and it's The War on Drugs. Like, you have to be kidding me! And I bought it that day, and just one of the albums that to me, I kind of said, kind of kept my faith going within the realm of, okay, there are some bands out there that really are keeping the concept of making music going. Now, of course, that's totally subjective because something you love, I may hate, and something that vice versa, and blah, blah, blah. So totally subjective. But what I mean by that is I was just so impressed when I took this home and put it on, and like on songs like The Strangest Thing, I remember listening to that the first couple of times and thinking, that sounds like Bob Dylan, and it sounds like he's singing a song written by Bruce Springsteen. Oh, that guitar solo at the end, that's a very, very Prince type of guitar solo, a Prince tone, a Prince note that he's hitting there. And I just remember thinking, just the fact that these artists are what's coming to mind when I'm experiencing in that somebody is getting back to making music, And so, yeah, I would love to know what other people kind of think about this. And if you're not, I mean, obviously you may not sit down and listen to the whole album from start to finish, but I would say just start with the song Strangest Thing. Just stream that from start to finish. If you dig it, dive deeper in, but I would love to know just what people think about just a couple of songs like that off of here. So there you go, VC. There's my CD vinyl tag for 2025. Once again, great, fantastic questions. Glad I had a chance to jump on board. And as always, let me know what you think, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.